Okay, so let's jump right in. Thanks everybody for coming. We did have some technical issues, it looks like. So there was supposed to be a lot more people on here. There's not. Oh, well, we'll figure it out for next time. My name's Bob Vieira. I'm the founder and the owner of a company called Universal Short Sales. We're a full service short sale processing company. I'm going to go over today 3 proven ways. Now, I say proven because it's literally, I'm not a sales guru. I don't have sales courses, any of that stuff. These are proven ways that my team and I get consistent short sale and pre-foreclosure business literally right now. So, and it's very, very specific to the Florida market, which I'm in myself. A little bit of background on what exactly we do as a company. As I mentioned before, we are a full service short sale processing company. So what we do is we streamline the entire short sale process, literally from start to finish, from A to Z. So that's everything from dealing directly with the lender, directly with the homeowner, facilitating the paperwork, months and months and months of work. We absolutely do everything A to Z 100%. If you're a real estate investor or you have buyer clients that are investors, we process the entire short sale for them for a fee. And then you guys as realtors, where we get the majority of our business is just partnering with realtors like you. So when you do have short sale listings, instead of you having to do all the chaotic steps of a short sale, you give that all to us. We do all the back end, keep everybody updated, and then you're able to focus on listing, selling, negotiating, all that stuff you guys are awesome at. Okay, we have some new people hopping on. Guys, any questions at all, leave them in the chat. I will answer them as I go through, or we'll just get to them at the end, either or. Let me know if I'm going too fast too. So what is a pre-foreclosure in real estate? Let's just start with the fundamentals. So a pre-foreclosure in real estate is very simply when a homeowner does not pay their monthly mortgage payment. And typically when it gets around to the 90-day mark, give or take, 90 days, 90 to 120 days, let's call it, of not paying the bank the mortgage servicer officially files a foreclosure. So they send the foreclosure paperwork and they notify the homeowner in writing, hey, listen, you're not paying us. So now you've left us no choice. We are officially filing a foreclosure to take your property back and then auction it off to the highest bidder. So the pre-foreclosure process is literally the last steps before a lender officially forecloses on a homeowner when they're not paying. So let's dive into the 3 proven ways you as Florida real estate agents could go out there and start to get more and more of these listings. Because, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people don't realize this and a lot of people overlook it. Florida is the #1 state in the country when it comes to gross pre-foreclosure volume. The reason a lot of people are overlooking that is because Florida is so desirable right now. It's hot. It's in the news. People are moving here in droves. It's insane. But at the same time, we have a lot of distressed homeowners here that are struggling to pay their mortgage. There's over 35,000 people right now, 35,000 people that are in an active pre-foreclosure in Florida. Let that sink in. And guess what? That 35,000 people, that doesn't even count the people that are maybe a month or 2 behind on their mortgage and they're not in pre-foreclosure yet. So there's massive opportunity for you guys as agents to come and help. All right, let's dive into source number 1. And I had to start with this. It is my absolute favorite. This will almost guarantee to get you mortgage delinquent listings. So when a homeowner falls behind on their mortgage, the vast majority of them, they do not want to sell their homes. They want to keep their property. They want to stay in it. And typically it's for emotional reasons. Maybe it's their first ever investment property. They purchased at FHA and did a house hack and they're kind of in love with it that way. Maybe it's the house where they raise their family in. Whatever the case is, they have an emotional attachment. They're behind on their mortgage. They can't pay the bank, but they want to figure out a way to work it out. So the bank lets them do what's called a mortgage modification. Now, what a mortgage modification is, it's an extremely lengthy and daunting application that the homeowner has to fill out and submit to the lender. So it's a 13 to 15 page application. They have to state all of their financials, their hardship. They have to submit bank statements, pay stubs. I mean, it's super long, it's super drawn out. And at the end of that process, if the bank approves the modification, they're going to let the homeowner stay in their property. All right. They're going to give them essentially a second chance. It's a second, they're going to reinstate the loan. They're going to give them a second chance to pay them on the mortgage. That's what a mortgage modification is. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, well, if these people don't want to sell their property and they're applying to keep their property and stay in their home and reinstate their defaulting loan, where's the opportunity? The opportunity in these, and this is unfortunate, but it's just a reality. The vast majority of mortgage modification applications get declined. Again, it's a harsh reality, but it's just the truth. A lot of them get declined because the only way the lender is going to approve a mortgage modification app is if they see a substantial increase in income or, a decrease in expenses. In other words, the bank has to see for certain that the homeowner is now, that like something drastically changed in the homeowner's life, that they're able to make their mortgage payments. If the bank doesn't see that, the application gets declined. So there's a 3-step process on how to convert these mortgage modification leads into deals. But first off, let me start by saying this. You have to have the right mindset into it. So all of your competition that's going to be cold calling pre-foreclosure leads, just like you are, door knocking, whatever you're doing, whenever they talk to somebody that's applying for a mortgage mod and that seller tells them that they don't want to sell their property, guess what? They hang up the phone. Human nature, I used to do it all the time too. So I'm here to tell you, stop hanging up. You want to stay on the phone. Do not hang up the phone. So step number 1 to convert these leads is exactly what I just said. Don't hang up the phone. Stay on with the homeowner. And you want to do 2 things. Number 1, you want to build rapport. Number 2, you want to be supportive. Now, this is very, very important, so I'm going to repeat it. When you're on the phone and the conversation's flowing, you're building rapport just like you normally would, but you want to be supportive. You want to support their decision of trying to keep the house and stay in the property. Okay? Now, the reason this is so important, because what a lot of real estate agents do is they get way too aggressive and they try to convince the homeowner, no, you don't want to reinstate your mortgage. You want to sell the property. Hire me as your real estate agent. We'll put it on the market and we'll sell it for you. You do not want to do this. If you do this, you're going to distance yourself from the seller, first off. Second off, you're actually going to lose rapport and they're not going to trust you because you're going to come off as predatory, just trying to get a deal. Don't do this. You want to support them doing the mortgage modification. Literally wish them luck. Step number 2 is end the call with permission to follow up. So as long as you execute step number 1 correctly, which is build rapport, be supportive, let the conversation flow, step number 2 will come very, very easy. You're going to end the phone call with the homeowner with permission to follow up with them. It's going to sound something like this, very, very casually. Hey, Bob, listen, best of luck with your mortgage modification. I hope everything works out. The bank's a pain in the butt to deal with a lot of times. I'm sure you can agree. Just in case this mod doesn't work out, I'd love to keep in touch with you. and follow up during the process and just be your plan B. Make it sound something like that. Almost 100% of the time, they're going to agree to it. They're going to be totally cool with you following up. All right. We got a question here. Hansel says, sorry, I'm late. Where do you get mortgage mod leads? Great question, Hansel. Nowhere. So the bank, this is a great question, guys. Where do you get mortgage modification leads? The answer is nowhere. They don't exist, which is the beautiful part. So lenders, it is illegal for them to put out lists of people that are in active mortgage modifications. They're not allowed to do it because of privacy issues. So your competitors can't just go online, purchase a list, and start to call them. The whole idea of these lists, guys, is to build them organically. As you're reaching out to pre-foreclosure leads, or your team is, whatever, you're going to build a pipeline of these mortgage mod leads. And that pipeline is going to grow. And then slowly but surely, you're going to end up getting deals from this pipeline. You're going to secure listings from the pipeline. That's the whole idea of it. Great question. Okay, so as I was saying, step number one, let the conversation flow, build rapport, and be supportive. Step number two, get permission to follow up. And then step number three, I want you guys to write this down because it's very specific. It's so specific, it almost sounds silly, but I'm telling you it works. We do it every day. Step number three, as soon as you hang up the phone with the homeowner, you're going to go into your CRM, okay? And you're going to set up a follow-up call for once every 3 weeks. Once every 3 weeks. And the idea behind this is you don't want to be overbearing in your follow-ups because this modification application, the process, it takes forever. It takes forever. So you don't want to be overbearing. Once every 3 weeks is the sweet spot that we found to follow up with the homeowner. Okay. Now, when you follow up, this is crucial as well. When you follow up, you need to call and text, never just do one or the other, and leave a voicemail with your first and last name. Most of the time, they're not going to answer. Okay, they're busy, very stressful situation in their life. They're going to be scrambling to get their tax returns and their pay stubs and sending them to the bank. Very stressful situation. So most of the time, it's going to go to voicemail. Leave a voicemail with your first and last name, hang up the phone and send a text message with your first and last name. And there's two reasons you want to leave your first and last name. Number one, you're building a brand inside of the homeowner's head. Once every 3 weeks, throughout a several-month process, they're going to get used to hearing your first and last name in a voicemail and then seeing it in a text message. Number one is branding. Number two, more importantly, is you're gaining their trust because you're doing exactly what you said you were going to do. You are keeping your word. On that first phone call, when you talk to them, you ended the call telling the homeowner you're going to follow up with them throughout their modification process to check in and make sure everything is okay. The fact that you're doing that systematically once every 3 weeks, the homeowner subconsciously is going to trust you and like you because you're doing exactly what you said you were going to do. And guys, the magic of this system, the magic of this systematic follow-up, if and when the application gets declined, which, as I said previously, the unfortunate reality is a lot of times it does. If and when it gets declined, you will be their listing agent. I can almost guarantee that. You will be their listing agent. They're going to trust you. They're going to like you. They are going to give you the listing when the application gets declined and they're forced to sell their property. This is a very, very powerful, way underutilized way to get listings. And again, in a market like Florida, There's a lot of people behind on their mortgage right now. So it's a very, very powerful way to increase your listing base. Now, does anybody have any questions before I keep on rolling here? Feel free to shout them out, put them in the chat. Any questions on mortgage modifications at all? Okay. And if you do and you don't want to say them now, write them down. You know, we'll go over them at the end. Guys, this is okay. Hang on. Somebody said something in the chat. 3 questions. Chris has 3. All right. Where do we look to find pre-foreclosures, and also will the recording be available? Okay, so about the recording, Chris, yes, I am gonna make sure all you guys get this recording after. I'm probably just gonna put it on my YouTube, to be honest, but either way, you'll have access to it. You mentioned you will help with the process. What is the cost to us? I'm not really sure what you mean there, Chris. If you want to clarify that, because I want to make sure I answer that. And then where do you find pre-foreclosures? So there's a bunch of places to find. I don't want to go too deep into that now because I want to finish on mortgage mods. I will answer that question, Chris, and I'll go in depth during the pre-foreclosure slides, because I'm going to talk about pre-foreclosures in a bit. So I will absolutely answer that. Guys, up on the screen right now, I have my mortgage modification pipeline. I just wanted to give you guys like a quick snapshot, like an idea. Right now, as we speak, my team and I, just from doing the process I just showed you guys, we have around 130 active mortgage mod leads. So people that are applying to keep their property with the bank that are behind on their mortgage. Let's say 50% get declined. I don't have stats on this, but that's pretty realistic. Boom, I have 65 hot leads all of a sudden. So again, just an idea. This stuff works. You just have to be patient. It's not a get rich quick. You're not going to get listings overnight, but trust me, you start to do this a couple months down the road, you'll be very, very happy you did. All right, bonus tip. If you guys can't tell already, I'm obsessed with mortgage modification leads. Bonus tip. All right, this is a little second level. Now, what I'm about to show you, you're not going to want to do on every single lead. You have to use your gut feeling on these. So, all right, when somebody applies for a mortgage mod and the bank approves it, the process is not over. It's still not over. What happens is the bank approves the mortgage mod, but they put the homeowner on what's called a trial modification period. This trial modification lasts for 90 days. Okay, it's essentially a test run. It's like, you know, buying a car and saying, hey, listen, you know, I'm going to buy this car. You know, I'll give you a little money down, but I want to test it out for a week to make sure it's good. If it's not, I'm bringing it back. I'm not buying it. All right, it's like a test run. During this 90-day period, the homeowner is evaluated on a 30-day basis. If they miss their payment one time within that 90-day period, one missed payment every 30 days, they're done. The bank pulls the plug. They're going to rescind their offer for a modification to reinstate the loan, and the homeowner is forced to sell. In fact, they can't even reapply in these situations. So use your gut feeling. If you're ever talking to a seller that's applying for a mortgage modification and they call you back and they say, hey, Joe, thanks for following up with me once every 3 weeks. That was amazing. But you know what? My bank approved the modification. I'm good to go. In your heart of hearts, if you know this seller's situation and you know there's no way they could afford to pay their mortgage payments every month, you're going to set a follow-up for 30 days, not once every 3 weeks. Set a follow-up for every 30 days to check in with the homeowner and just make sure that they're making their trial payments. You'd be surprised. A lot of times they miss these payments because they had no business getting their loan reinstated anyway. And then you're able to list the property and help them out of the situation that way. But again, use your gut here. You're not going to want to do this with everyone. All right, let's hop over to source number 2. This is a really cool one too. This is a very, very underutilized one as well. Pre-pandemic failed pre-foreclosure and short sale listings. All right, so I sound like a madman right now telling you to go back in time, what, 3+ years at this point? I'm telling you it works. So let's go back in time and remember what happened. Early 2020, COVID hits. All of the banks stepped in, and the government stepped in and they enacted the mortgage moratoriums. I'm sure we all remember. So at this time, no matter how far behind somebody was on their mortgage, it didn't matter. The banks were absolutely prohibited from filing a foreclosure on anyone. All right. So you could be at the very end of pre-foreclosure. You haven't paid the bank in years. Didn't matter. Foreclosures were stopped. So what happened was a lot of people, they had their properties listed on the MLS with their realtors in Florida as pre-foreclosures or as short sales. And the moratoriums hit and they said, okay, great. And they pulled them off or they just let them expire. Now, the harsh reality, but it's a reality. Many of those people who right before the pandemic hit were in bad financial situations, they were actually saved by these mortgage moratoriums. And most of these people are not in better financial situations. In fact, they entered into these COVID forbearances and now they're in worse financial situations because now any kind of equity they at least had, that equity is diminished now because of the forbearances. So what I've been doing, and it's been working magically, I like to go back in time. The sweet spot I found is November, like the end of November 2019. And because you guys are licensed realtors, you have access to the MLS, which is beautiful. This will make your life way more easier. You should be able to go into the MLS, go way back in time to right before COVID hit, and create a search for failed short sale listings, number 1, or failed pre-foreclosure listings. And you simply want to reach out to the homeowners, see if they're still interested in selling. And this is a fantastic way to get business. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, don't get discouraged when you go back and you pull these expired listings. They're going to be very small lists, but they're effective because they're very, very targeted. All right. We're not just like, pulling a list of 10,000 people and calling. These are targeted lists of people who A, wanted to sell because they had their properties listed, and then B, they were in financial trouble, either pre-foreclosure and or short sale. So again, go back in time, pull these lists, start to call them. It works very, very, I don't know anybody else who's pulling these lists, to be honest. I didn't learn this anywhere. I kind of just improvised and started to do it. So, maybe there's some other people doing it, but it's going to be few and far between. There's some hidden gems here, I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to pull up the chaps here. Oh no, you guys can't hear me. Sound is going in and out. Oh man, I hope you guys heard that. Somebody sent me a message in the chat. Did you guys hear this or should I go over this again? Or shout it out.
Yeah, both presentations you were in and out. So you were talking about pre-COVID and then you couldn't hear 90% of it when you're moving on your slides.
How about now? Am I good now?
Yeah, currently you're good.
Okay, good. You guys got all the mod stuff because you were asking questions. So, okay, with this okay, so you want to go back in time to the end of 2019, okay? My sweet spot, guys, is I like to go back towards the end of November 2019, and you want to pull short sale and or failed pre-foreclosure listings. Okay, pull those listings. I'm not sure if you guys heard this or not, but the methodology, I'll repeat this again. The methodology behind this is a lot of people were in bad financial trouble when the mortgage moratoriums hit beginning of 2020 when COVID hit. So they pulled their properties off the market. Most of those people are still in bad financial straits. And you're going to pull these lists. They're going to be very short lists. All right. So don't get discouraged when you pull these lists. They're not going to be long, but they're effective lists because they're very, very targeted. All right. They're targeted lists. Does anybody have any questions on this? Because I don't know how much you guys missed of it. Shout out any questions, please. This is an excellent way to find deals. There's not many other people doing this. Very low competition. Any questions, guys? Put them in the chat. Shout them out, please. Because I don't know what you missed when I was breaking up.
Well, I do have a question. It's kind of
Yeah.
coming up probably. I don't know because I've seen all the presentation, obviously.
Yeah.
When homes are going, say, for short sale, we're in a job to make money. Where do we get paid? Because if it's being sold for more than or less than what it's for, who's paying the commissions and how does that work?
Yes, sir. I'm going to get into short sales a little bit later, but I'm going to answer because it's a great question. So short sales, you guys get paid directly by the bank. So there's no negotiating with sellers. There's no, oh, well, Joe Smith, the realtor, from XYZ said he'll do it for 2% commission. None of that BS. The bank pays the full 6% commission, no questions asked. The short sale lender.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Any other questions specifically on going back in time pre-pandemic failed short sale listings and failed pre-foreclosures? Okay. Hansel said, can you get more than 6% from the bank? Again, I'm getting into short sales a little bit later. You could try. They're probably going to tell you to pound sand. Hansel, if I'm being honest. No, it's tough. It's tough to get more than 6 room. Yeah. 7% would be nice. Yeah. So guys, really quick before I move on here, very, very low competition with these failed pre-foreclosure leads. Go way back in time, I'm telling you, because these forbearances, they let these people just carry it on for years. All right. There is gold in pulling those lists. Okay. And last, but certainly not least, is niche branding. This costs you exactly $0 and it's amazingly effective. Now, when I use the word niche, that's the key. Okay. When I use the word niche, that means marketing yourself to your peers and marketing yourself to homeowners who are behind on their mortgage as, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, my name's Bob Vieira. I am here talking to you because I can help with your specific situation. I specialize in helping people that are in pre-foreclosure. I have systems in place. I can help you in your specific situation. That's what I mean by niche branding. And I'm telling you right now, being niching down and marketing yourself as a pre-foreclosure expert, you will 1000% win listings this way. All right. Think of it this way. All right. Think of it this way. So there's 2 ways niche branding is going to help you do this. Number 1, think about all of your competitors, how they do listing presentations. There's only so many variations of a listing presentation we could do. So they're going to get in front of, I'm telling you right now, your competitors sit in front of pre-foreclosure sellers and they give the same exact sales pitch and listing presentation that they do on every other traditional listing. They do the same thing. Now, what you could do that's different is you're going to go in front of the same seller after they do, and you're going to give a niche presentation. As I just gave you a glimpse of, you're going to explain to the homeowner, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I would not be sitting in your living room right now if you weren't in the situation that you're in. Because if this was a traditional listing, I probably wouldn't be the guy for you. The fact that you're facing a pre-foreclosure, the fact that you're in this distressed situation, that's why I'm here. I specialize in helping people like you. Guys, once you use that verbiage and you drive that point home in the seller's mind that you specialize in helping in their specific situation, you will differentiate yourself massively from your competition and you will get business. You will win competitive listings in this competitive, vast Florida market that we're in. I'm telling you, it works. They're going to have confidence in you and they're going to feel very, very comfortable hiring you as their listing agent. Make sure you don't give a traditional sales pitch. All right. And then number two, the second way niching your brand helps is B2B. A lot of people don't do this as agents. Most people, whether it's your peers in your own office, whether it's, your competitors, whoever, they want nothing to do with pre-foreclosure listings and or short sales. They want nothing to do with them. It's just a different kind of deal. They're uncomfortable. Okay. So the fact that you could just put it out there and just tell them, hey, listen, you ever come across someone in a short sale, or you ever come across someone in a pre-foreclosure that's behind on their mortgage, refer the deal to me or bring it to me and we could partner up. Just by simply telling people that you want these types of deals will get you more listings in this space. Questions on this, guys? Christopher, question. What do we actually do to help the owners? Well, what you actually do, I can get into that in a little bit, which is number one, if it's an underwater situation, you could either get really good at short sales because there's tons of short sales and pre-foreclosures, or you could partner up with a company like mine, okay, and you could leverage my brand like all of our partners do to get yourself the listing and help the seller. Or you could learn specifically about pre-foreclosures, Chris, which I'm actually going to talk about in a little bit, to ask the right questions to be able to help the homeowner. Guys, any other questions on niche branding, niching yourself to win listings? Okay. So, all right. So we just went over 3 specific ways, sources where you guys can increase your listing base to get these leads to flow in, these pre-foreclosure sellers. How do you actually speak with them? Now, this is what I'll say. I know there's a lot of sales gurus and trainings out there that preach to give a hardline sales pitch. And maybe that works in certain situations. I'm sure it does. If that works for you, great. My suggestion is when you're talking to sellers who are deep into the pre-foreclosure process, throw your hardline sales pitches away. They don't work. You want to be very, very careful. So I put here, watch your tone. Essentially what that means is you want to always have a very laid back, almost passive demeanor when you're talking to somebody that's in pre-foreclosure. All right. You want to be very, very conversational. That's absolutely key. Because put yourself in the seller's shoes for a second. This is usually going to be the most stressful time in their life. They're worried, what's going to happen to my family if we go into foreclosure? They're getting threatening letters sent, threatening phone calls from their bank. Extremely stressful situation. The last thing on earth the seller wants is for you, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor on the other end of the phone, to come off robotic, aggressive, and clearly just trying to get a commission off of their distress situation and just profit from it. Even if that's not your intention, being too robotic and salesy, I'm telling you, you're going to come off that way. You're going to distance yourself from the seller. Okay. The second component of talking to these sellers, be a great listener. You should be letting them vent and talk 80 to 90% of the conversation, literally. They're going to talk about how much they hate their servicer, how they got screwed over. Be a shoulder for them to lean on. That's what you want to do on this call. Okay. Let it flow, be conversational, and just build rapport. Just be yourself. Just be a human being. That's it. Now, when it is your turn to talk, there's 4 very important questions you need to ask. So take a screenshot of this, write it down. I'll go as slow as possible. Tell me if I'm going too fast. This is so important to get these questions because it is going to determine your exit strategy. These questions are going to literally determine how you as the real estate agent are even able to help them. Question number 1, you have to figure out how many months they're actually behind on their mortgage. All right. How many months are they behind? That's going to help you get a bird's eye view of how bad the situation actually is. Question number 2 is, has your bank started the foreclosure process on you? This is crucial, especially in the state of Florida, which is a judicial foreclosure state. You have to know this. Has the bank started the foreclosure? Now, if the answer to that question is yes, then question number 3 immediately needs to be, did they give you an auction date? Did your bank give you a foreclosure sale date? Now, the reason this is so important is because it's going to let you as the realtor understand how much time you even have to help them. What's today? October 11th. Let's say you get off this call, you're talking to a pre-foreclosure seller, and they say, I have an auction date on October 28th. They're going to auction my property off. You better move your ass then. You know what I mean? Like, you have to know how much time you have to actually help them. Very, very important question. Don't forget to ask that. Once you get those 3 questions, question number 4, the grand finale, is what's your mortgage balance? How much do you owe? I'm going to give you guys a second here and slow down so you could write this if you're writing it. Take a picture, screenshot, whatever. So you have to find out how much they actually owe because, again, that's going to determine, okay, could I take this property? Could I just list it and sell it? You know, do I have time? Do they have equity? Could I just do it as a normal listing? Do I have an investor in my back pocket that I work with that's a flipper that I could just call and they could come and give them a quick cash offer? Or are they underwater? Do they have negative equity, which is very common in pre-foreclosures? In that case, you'll have to do a short sale. Guys, is anybody not done writing all these questions down before I move on? Because I really want to make sure you guys get this. Okay. Julie in the chat said sensitive, dressing casual at this time helps. That's actually a great idea, Julie. I love that actually. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to show up looking, you know, a little too professional, too like a, you know, 1950s vacuum salesman, right? You don't want to show up with like a briefcase, all that crazy stuff. So yeah, 100%. You want to humanize yourself for sure. I'm sure that's a great point. Okay, is everybody good with these questions? Is anybody not good with these questions? Shout it out. Me. Got it. Jen is still writing it down. We're going to give Jen a second. Rita said, no judgment and empathetic. Yes. Empathy is absolutely key. Be yourself. You know, I'm sure you're all good people on this. So just be yourself, be a good person, and just let them know you're looking to help. That's it. Okay. Now, the reason that question number 4 is so important, what's your estimated mortgage balance, is because a lot of people are going to be underwater. You're going to have to do a short sale to help them. What is a short sale? A short sale is when the homeowner is behind on their mortgage payments and they have negative equity. So the value of their property in its as-is condition is worth less than what they owe the bank on their mortgage. All right. And the bank, in that case, lets them do a short sale, which is to sell short of what they owe on the mortgage balance. So, quick example, you come across a seller and their mortgage balance to the bank is $300,000, but their house, you can only sell it for like 250. Okay. 300 they owe, property's worth 250. They are $50,000 underwater in this situation. So in this example, the bank in a short sale is going to let them sell for the 250 that the house is worth, and they're going to forgive the deficiency of the 50K, and it does not get recorded as a foreclosure. That's what a short sale is. All right. A lot of pre-foreclosure leads, even in a hot market like this. I live in Florida too. I'm with you. Tight inventory. There's still bidding wars on a lot of entry-level housing. I get it. But the deeper people get into pre-foreclosure, especially in Florida, the foreclosure process, the courts are very heavily involved in this state. So it literally takes forever. All right. It's a judicial foreclosure state. So even in this hot market, the deeper people get into pre-foreclosure, the more fees and interest compound on their principal balance, and they lose equity. So you will see short sales here, a lot of them. Short sales are very, very long. I would say a good average is like 4 to 6 months to complete one, but quite frankly, a lot of them even go over 6 months, depending on how complex the file is. So guys, does anyone have questions on what exactly a short sale is? Because you will start to see a lot of these. Good? Okay. Write this down too. You always want to keep a little cheat sheet. Take a screenshot of this. 3 factors that make up a short sale, because listen, you want to be able to qualify these deals on the fly. You don't want to have to think about it, because then another agent swoops in and gets your business. Okay. If this needs to be a short sale, you want to be able to quickly let the homeowner know, hey, have you considered a short sale? You have to be quick on your feet. So the 3 factors you're going to keep as a checklist. This is how you determine a short sale. Number 1, negative equity. That's the first thing you're looking for, negative equity. So going back to my example, property's worth 250K. They owe 300. The mortgage balance exceeds what the property is worth. That is negative equity. They are underwater. Okay, that's number 1. The second factor is mortgage delinquency. Is the homeowner behind on their mortgage payments, or maybe they're soon to be behind on their mortgage payments? Either one, that is factor number 2. Factor number 3 you need to look for, I call this my bonus factor, is they cannot be motivated by money. I cannot tell you guys, when I first started out, how much time, energy, and money, I actually get a headache even thinking about it right now, how much time, energy, and money I have wasted thinking that I had a qualified short sale just because they had negative equity and they're behind on their mortgage. Oh yeah, great, I have a short sale. No, you don't, Bob, because I did not verify that they're not motivated by money. In a short sale, think about it. A bank is agreeing to take a loss on their investment. I'm going to go back to that example again. Property's worth 250. You owe the bank 3, but the bank is letting you sell for 250. The bank is taking a $50,000 haircut in that example. So they're not going to let the seller keep any of the proceeds. You need to explain this upfront to the homeowner that they're not getting any money. The homeowner in a short sale has to be motivated to avoid foreclosure and just to be able to get out from under without owing anything at closing. If you don't explain this right away, what's going to happen is you're going to go through this long and gruesome short sale process only for the seller to back out of the deal and waste everyone's time. I'm telling you, that will happen when they find out they're not getting any money. Have that conversation up front. Something in the chat here. Julie, how does that work with compensation to agents on both sides? Yes, great question. Compensation is paid by the short sale lender. That's the beautiful thing. Listen, short sales suck. They're long, complicated. There's usually tons of stuff that pops up. But the benefits of a short sale is you're not negotiating with a homeowner on taking a haircut on your commission, or, you know, Joe Schmo, realtor up the street, said that he'll do it for like, list my property for like 2% in a candy bar. Like, there's none of that stuff. The bank pays your commission and they pay the full 6%. And then to answer about the buyer's agent, it just gets split normally, like you normally would. Okay. You're welcome. Okay, guys, is everybody cool on the 3 factors about a short sale? Everybody good on what a short sale is, factors, all that stuff, how to qualify it? Okay, cool. All right, this is my free course. This is my gift to you guys. Some of you have maybe already seen me advertise about this on social media and signed up. If you did, that's awesome. If not, this is a badass course. It's specifically for you as Florida real estate agents, tailored to the state of Florida. We cover pre-foreclosure fundamentals, lead generation. I go into even more in-depth, than what I did here. Short sale fundamentals, and then at the last module, I give you guys my step-by-step process to literally complete a short sale deal, start to finish. That's if you're crazy enough to want to do them yourself. Have at it. I literally give you guys the system and steps we use, the 12-step process. So again, that's my gift to you. I hope you find amazing value in it. You know, I hope you could learn a lot and go kick some butt and grow your business with it. Totally free. Guys, email me if you want that course. In the subject line, just put, send me Florida real estate course, and then I'll know you were on this webinar with me and I'll shoot it over to you. All right, and there's my email right there. Right there, Yvette, it's right on the screen, my email. vieracompanies@gmail.com. So just be very careful typing it out. My last name's tricky. Everybody misses that second I. So be careful there. Yeah, but and then yeah, stay in touch. And there's my email again for anybody who missed it. It's a little bit bigger on the screen. Guys, keep in touch with me. I want to network with all you guys. I want to network with everybody. Don't ever feel like you have to have a short sale listing to work on. I don't care. I want to network. We could add value to each other's business and just talk. So it's my cell phone. Check us out on my website. Guys, also, if you're not in my Facebook group, you have to get in this group. You have to go right now and get in this group. Short Sale Success for Realtors, Universal Short Sales. Type that in Facebook. It'll come right up. It's such a sick group because so many groups, I feel like, they just go for volume. Like, I'm sure you guys, like, I'm in tons of real estate groups. I'm sure you guys are too on Facebook. There's like 30,000, 20, there's like all these people, but like most of it's just garbage and junk and spam. My group is very, very tight. Every single person that's in it, I think we're like maybe 11 or 1,200 members in it, or somewhere around that. And every person is in the business doing deals. And I put on free webinars just like this about pre-foreclosures. I have guests come on that are kicking ass in what they do. They come on and bring value in their expertise. It's an awesome, small niche group. I highly suggest you get in that group. Again, it's free. I don't charge for any of this stuff. Okay, we got lots of questions here. So, okay, is everybody not good with my contact here? Cool. Questions. All right. All right. I'm going to get through these questions in the chat. Let me scroll up. There's a lot of questions here. I'm actually going to take a sip of water because I'm hoarse right now. Give me one sec. All right. Yvette said, what's your email? You guys got that email? If you didn't, I'll type it in right here. companies@gmail.com. Okay, you guys have my email now to reach out for the course. Susan said, what is the fee your company does through the process? Great question. So, okay, we have 2 separate models. My company at Universal Short Sales, we have 2 models. Model number 1 is we are investors. I'm a real estate investor as well. So if you ever have a listing that needs work, it's a rehab project, I'll actually buy it. You get your full commission. You don't have to worry about finding buyers, any of that stuff. We'll do the whole short sale, and then I'll buy the property. Second model is our fee-based model, which is $10,000 flat, and that goes on the buyer side of the HUD. Everything is disclosed, systemized, and it's approved by the bank. There's never any issues. It's bank approved, and we don't touch your commission, and we don't dare charge your seller a dime. I don't believe in doing business like that. Don't touch your commission, and we don't charge your homeowner. The buyer pays us, and they just work it into their offer because it's all disclosed. It's a beautiful process. Julie said, thanks, Bob. Where are you located? You're welcome, Julie, and I'm located in Sarasota. Beautiful, sunny Sarasota. You can see the sun is literally shining through the blinds right now and adding a glare there. Hansel, what's your IG? It's here. I'll type it in right now. I'm actually trying to grow my Instagram, so please follow me. Bobby_Vieira, and then at Universal Short Sales is my both of my Instagram handles. So yeah, follow me there because I just started trying to build it up, and it's I'm just awful at it. So yeah, that'd be great. But I am starting to put more and more content on it. Questions. Those are old questions. Short sales. Okay, Rita said, and short sales minimize impact on their credit. Only 2 years. Rita, that's not a question, but you are 1,000% correct. Yes, Rita has a great point, guys. A huge advantage of a short sale versus a foreclosure. A foreclosure is like 7 to 10 years black eye on your credit. And just as Rita said, a short sale lasts for maybe 2-3 years. And it actually looks a lot better, in the eyes of a lender because it gets recorded as debt settled for less than amount owed. So they're settling their debt and they look like a better borrower. Great point. What's the fee? What's your IG? How do we find your YouTube channel? Go to Universal Short Sales. Go to the YouTube bar Universal Short Sales, and I'll actually put it in the chat here. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to stop the share, guys. And I'm going to